Hi everyone, my name is Barbara. I'm the owner of Spanish for Kiddos and Craft for Kiddos. And today I want to share some very special ways that you can learn Spanish shapes here in English and Spanish. And then we're going to be doing some fun crafts along with that as well. And I have a couple of ideas here how to create that and use these fun sun catchers, and we'll do different types of sun catchers here. And it's just very simple. That you can do with different types of materials, and I'll show you the templates that I have here. So let me begin by sharing the story, and it's in English and in Spanish, so it's easy to go along with that. And then towards the end, it has a very small template here, or small chart here that you can go through. These are just little chocolate chip cookies, and you can do different types of shapes if you want to go along, or if you do have the shapes like magnetic shapes or different types of shapes, that could also be a great way to do that, or you can actually use our templates, and I'll show you in a minute. So the story goes, this is a circle, a ball is a circle, este es un círculo, una pelota es un círculo. This is an oval. An egg is an oval. Este es un óvalo. Un huevo es un óvalo. This is a rectangle. A notebook is a rectangle. Este es un rectángulo. Un cuaderno es un rectángulo. This is a square. A window is a square. Este es un cuadrado. Una ventana es un cuadrado. This is a triangle. A pizza is a triangle. Este es un triángulo. La pizza es un triángulo. This is a star. The yellow figure is a star. Esta es una estrella. La figura amarilla es una estrella. This is a heart. The red figure is a heart. Este es un corazón. La figura roja es un corazón. This is a hexagon. The honeycomb is a hexagon. Este es un hexágono. El panal es un hexágono. This is an octagon. The stop sign is an octagon. Este es un octógono. La señal de parar es un octógono. This is a pentagon. This is a rhombus. The pentagon has 5 sides. The rhombus has 4 sides. Este es un pentágono y un rombo. El pentágono tiene 5 lados. El rombo tiene 4 lados. The end. El fin. And that is the end of the story there. So very simple, but as you can go along with that, of course, point out what are those objects that have that shape, probably in your toys, maybe, or different types of items that you might have around the house. That's a very good way to do that. But I have a template, and I have them all cut out here, and I'll show you what I have. So I have the heart, corazón. I have the rectangle, rectángulo. I have the pentagon, pentágono. I have the triangle, triángulo. I have the square, cuadrado. I have the circle, círculo. I have the rhombus, rombo. And I have the star, estrella. So I have all those different types of templates, and I'll include the links in there if you want to have those for free. Those are completely free. So what I did was actually cut these out into cardstock, and I'll show you how do I do that. And very simply, I just use some cardstock, or you can just use some construction paper, a little more sturdy than construction paper here. Perhaps maybe if you have an old manila folder, you can do that as well. Or you can do, for instance, you can do maybe cardstock, or can do maybe anything else that's sturdy. So what I did was just make the template on there. And once you do that, you have something like this. And then you can paste this onto your paper that you want to make the sun catcher. In this case, we have these colors here. So let me just grab a few colors. and I'm going to do the heart here. And then what you can do is actually have different types of colors, and you can make several templates or several of these all at the same time. And so you can cut these and have multiple prints out, multiple shapes that you can have at the same time. So all you're doing is then just put in some masking tape or very small tapes there, and then draw the shape along there very gently if you want to. And you can actually cut this along if you wanted to. You don't have to trace it, but I think tracing it helps the kiddos cut these out. So you have something like this, like that. And then what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to cut along here. I'm just going to make this cut here. Like this. I'm going to save this. This is a great way to use scrap paper. If you have scrap papers that are around, that you can make all these different types of shapes here. So one of the things you want to do is cut along the outline here. And like I said, you don't have to do that since it's already traced, but I think it helps the kiddos manage their scissors a little bit better when you have a surface like that they can cut along, and then cut this way as well. And then we can create some fun catchers with these in 1 second. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently peel this out because I have this and it's a little bit better to cut. So what you're going to do is you're just going to gently fold it like this and then cut along there. That'll be easier to cut your shape here. And I have a heart here, but you can, as you can see, you can do different types of shapes that you can practice on. And I just think that this is a very simple shape, a circle, a square, a rectangle. Those are very simple shapes that you can cut. So there you go. So now we have our sun catcher. And you can repeat this, and I have other shapes as well. You can repeat these shapes as well. So here's my rhombus if you want to. So I have, for instance, my triangle here, and I have different shapes to show you. I have a triangle and my heart here. So one of the things I want to do is just a couple of things that we can do here. One of them is our tissue paper here, and you can use any fun color that you want there. So I'm going to use this one here. I have different colors here, and this is the fun part because you can use different colors. I'm going to use one to keep it simple, but you can use different colors to make all these interesting colors here. Okay, so what you can do is actually paste some packaging tape here, and what that's going to do, and excuse me because it's going to get a little bit loud here. So what you can do is just paste a little bit there. Just make sure it just stays on there. And I'm going to flip it there just for a minute, and then I'm going to take another small piece that I can do here and paste it like this. Okay, so make sure you turn it over to the sticky side like this. And then I'm going to make some small cuts here so that I can use my tissue paper. And like I said, you don't have to do it any shape. You can just do any shape that you want to. You can just cut these up and put them on your paper, on your sticky tape there. You can put the whole thing on there too, but I think it's a good practice for to manage what those types of textures are once you place into the sticky side of this tape. You can do small pieces, you can do big pieces, anything that you like. You can mix the colors if you want to. Just like I said, I want to keep it simple here. And it's a great practice with some fine motor skills here that you can do something like this. And you can just keep on going. Make sure you have enough but to just cover the tape, but enough that you can allow some of the light to come through to make it somewhat translucent. And I think think that should be good. Like I said, you can put some tape on here, but I think the texture on there makes it nice and colorful. So as you can see, I'm going to put a little bit more so you can see that you can get it through it all there. There we go. Something like that. And then here you have it. Here is, and if you can see a little bit, I'll show you in a picture later how you can have that very translucent, or you can have your sun catcher. Now you can cut these. I think it's best to cut them up, and you can have something like this to make sure to make it a neat cut, because it will stick to everything else later on. So that's one way to do that. Another way is, if you want to, is actually, I'm going to use my circle here, and I'm going to use some white paper, some white tissue paper in particular. So here is my heart. And for the white paper, I'm just going to cut enough so that is covering my rectangle, my triangle here. And just cut a little bit of this here. And then what I'm going to do, so that I just have enough to cover here, is I'm going to crumble it so that it's going to be something like this. I'm going to crumble this as much as you want to. The more you crumble, the more texture it's going to have. And see how it has that nice texture in there. Great for some practice some fine motor skills. Here's another example of what that looks like as well. And then what you're going to do is you're going to apply some glue. Let me just have this right here. I'm going to apply some glue. I'm going to just measure a little bit there. And then I'm going to apply some glue around the area there of my triangle. Just enough that is going to stay on there. Doesn't have to be a lot, since it is tissue paper. So I'm going to place it there very gently, like this. Make sure that it sticks to it. So you paste it on there gently there. And of course, if you turn it on, you see that's translucent there. Now I would wait for it to set, and then you can cut it, and then of course you have something like this. I also included some punch holes there on the top there, as you can see, so that you can paste these, or you can hang these on the window or in a place where you can have some nice light coming through, so that you can see what that looks like. It's a great way to do that. So here's one way. You can actually put some maybe more tape on here if you want to make it a little more translucent. You can use different colors. So many wonderful ways that you can create and learn about these shapes along with the story. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It has lots of great ways that you can actually use a fun story in English and Spanish, like this one, for instance, that you have learning shapes as you go along, and then incorporate different ways that you can actually use just shapes like hearts, or different shapes like rectangles or triangles, different ways that you can come up with that to even reinforce what those concepts are in English and in Spanish. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you join me for another fun bilingual story in English and Spanish. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day.